Can we start, Prakash?
Yes, sure, Binduji. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Advaita Vedanta Satsang House. The ongoing sessions offered by Binduji are a series of lectures on Bhagavad Gita. We are on lecture number 9. So the schedule is, we have it on weekdays at 8:30 p.m. IST every day. And then we have a break on Saturday, and Sunday we have an open discussion. This is going to be has been the process, but there is a slight change that's coming up in the new year. So starting in the new year, every Friday, after 4 days of lecture on Friday, there will be an open discussion related to Bhagavad Gita. And then Sunday will be just the open discussion related to Advaita. I'm just giving you a preemption. I'll mention this towards the end also when there are more people. And this will be the last lecture for this 2025, and 2 days break after that, 31st and 1st. I'll be closing the hand raising and the chat when Binduji is offering the class. And once the class is over, we'll have about half an hour where you can interact with Binduji and ask questions related to any clarifications you have or any discussion points. Over to you, Binduji. Thank you.
Namaste, Prakash. Thank you. Namaste, all of you, those who have been regularly attending. Let me begin with the invocation. Om Namo Brahma Dibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kritribhyo Vanshirishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashi Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Gita Dhyanam. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunnanti Divyai Stavai Vedai Sangapada Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyana Tadgadena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyandam Navidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. In the last class, we saw that Sankarachaya is establishing the real purport of Bhagavad Gita. So he will be continuing a few more arguments to establish that both karma and jnana, that is action and self-knowledge, cannot go hand in hand for the same person at the same time. So that how does he establishes what is going to be seen in the coming few sentences where Acharya Shankaracharya is going to give references within Bhagavad Gita as well as in other places where similar, explanations have been given that both karma and jnana cannot be samuchaya or cannot coexist in the pursuit of Purushartha. So he says that evam sankhya buddhim yoga buddhim cha ashritya dve nishte vibhakte bhagavataha ukte jnana karmaneyo kartra kartritva akartritva anekatva ekatva buddhi ashraya yugapat eka purusha ashraya asambhavam pashyata. Evam jnana karmaneyoho. In this manner, two distinct committed lifestyle based on understanding about the self and based on understanding of action. So we know that in the beginning that he said no, pravritti dharma and nivritti dharma. The two thing has been established by the Creator, and that is what is being followed by the by the public. I mean, by the people who are following the Vedic life. So these two distinct and mutually exclusive paths were told by Lord, seeing the impossibility of a committed lifestyle where knowledge and action being in one and the same person at the same time. Because they are based on a different understanding. For the action we need a doership, and for the knowledge is establishing that there is no doership. So as well as understanding of oneness for the and plurality are separate totally. Means ekatvam and multiplicity is the dvaitam. So etat yatha etat vibhagavachanam tateva darshitam chatapatiye brahmane edameva pravrajinoho logamichhandah brahmanaha pravrajanti iti sarvakarma sannyasa vidaya sat shveshena kim prajaya karishyamo yesham na ayam atma ayam lokaha. These are both, he is quoting that Brihadaranya Upanishad here. What does he say? Similar statements can be seen, like to the Bhagavad Gita, division is seen even in the Shatapatiya Brahmana, means which is Brihadaranya Upanishad. The quote is that the renunciation of all action is prescribed in the statement where desiring this loka alone, dispassionate people, those who have been following Vaidika Dharma, renounce. That is, etat eva lokam ashritya, lokam pravrijinaha ichchandha brahmana pravrajanti. Then, as a remaining part of the same mantra, in the same Shruti or same Upanishad, it says, Kim prajaya karishyama yesham na ayam atma ayam lokaha. What shall we do with the progeny? We are those for whom the self alone is the goal. So, those who are looking forward a nivritti marga or shreyas, for them, the purushartha is the self only. So, what will we do with the progeny? See, the question which is being asked is that for progeny, for swarga, for wealth, for and cattle, all of them are prescribed in the Vedas as yajnas. So, putrakameshti is for the progeny. Swargakameshti is the swargakama. Say dhanakameshti. All of them are separately described in the previous portions of Vedas, which is specific to people who are desirous of those things. But then there are a set of people who are not desirous of all those things, but they are only interested in the moksha. So such people are for the self. Tatra evacha prag dhara parigrahad purusha atma prakruto dharma jitnyasa uttarakalam logatraya sadhanam putram dvipikarakam vittam cha manusham deivam cha tatra manusham vittam karma rupam pitruloka prapti sadhanam vidyam cha deivam vittam devaloka prapti sadhanam so akamayata itya avidya kamavat eva kamavataha ekavamataha eva sarvani karmani shrotadani darshitani. The same manner, in the pursuit of knowledge preceded by renunciation has been shown in that. There means in that Brihadaranya Upanishad alone, there is by a statement that he, an ignorant person, after the analysis of Veda Purva Bhaga or Dharma, after understanding the Vedika Karma part, before marriage, desire for the means of three lokas. So, after having done the Veda study completely thoroughly, before marriage, the person who is desirous of entering into the Grihastha-ashrama or the family life, he desires for means for three lokas. What is that? Progeny, and then two types of wealth is there: human wealth and divine wealth. So this is called the Vittakama. Between the two, human wealth is in the form of karma and is means of attainment of heaven. Why? Progeny or the son born to a Agnihotri, if in between, if the Agnihotri dies without completing the Agnihotra Yaga, the son stands by for the fathers for the remaining part of the putra, which ensures that the father is achieving Swarga. So that is why here it is mentioned this way, that the human wealth is in the form of karma for means of attainment of heaven. Upasana is the divine wealth and the means for attainment of Brahmaloka. Brahma Upasana, that is the highest Upasana in the Upasana Kanda, where the Hiranyagarbha Prapti is achieved by those who are doing Upasana on the Brahmaloka. All this he desires, mean the person who wants to enter into Grihastha-ashrama and post-Grihastha-ashrama, what he should be, will be all driven by desires. In this manner, all Shruti and Smriti karmas were shown to be meant only for the person endowed with desire and ignorance of the self. Tebhyo vyuthaya pravarajanti iti vyuthanam atmanam eva lokam icchataha akamahasya vihitam. So, having outgrown them means the three desires of putra vittam, manusham cha daivam cha, leaves a lifestyle of living in the family and proceeds as a mendicant, or they renounce. So that is what pravrajanti is the word used there. Pravrajanti means he goes roaming around, renouncing every possession he has. This is exactly what Yajnavalkya does. When Maitreyi Yajnavalkya Samvada goes on there, Pravaraj, so that he is going to sannyasa, take sannyasa there. In this manner, renunciation is prescribed by a person who does not desire for the three lokas, but those who are desiring for the goal of self or the purpose of attainment of moksha, those all the people who discard this one and take to sannyasa. Tadedat vibhaga vachanam anupannam syat iti shrauta karma jnanayo samuchayo avipretaha syat bhagavataha. If this combination of the Shruti prescribed karma and knowledge can be done by the same person at the same time was intended by Bhagavan, that statements in the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishad, the division of jnana and karma would have been untenable. Now, then he is taking into Bhagavad Gita now. Nacha Arjunasya prashnaha upapanna bhavati jayasi chet karmana ste ityadi. And the question of Arjuna, the third chapter, first question is that after having heard the second chapter of knowledge, Sankhya Yoga, that is the knowledge yoga, Arjuna is asking the first question itself, Jayasi chet karmanaste. So what does it say? Arjuna's question does not become tenable. If that is what Acharya says, that if Samuchaya was intended by Bhagavan, if he had an intention that both karma and jnana can go hand in hand, the question from Arjuna would not have been tenable in the following manner. If the knowledge is considered to be superior than karma by you, then why are you engaging me in the action? This is the question which Arjuna asked. Jayasi chet karmanaste buddhim mohayasi me. So that one which you should understand, that Bhagavan also is very clear in making the statement clear to Arjuna, which Arjuna also understood very clearly. Unless Arjuna has not heard it properly, he would not have asked this question. He has very clearly understood. That is why he is asking this question, that if knowledge is considered to be superior to karma, then why are you engaging me in action? Eka purusha anushtheya tva asambhavam buddhi karmanoho bhagavataha purvam anuktam katham arjuno shrutam buddhescha karmanoho jyayastvam bhagavatya adhyaropeyam mrishayeva jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana. So if the possibility of samuchaya or combination for the same person to undertake both karma and knowledge together is being pursued by one person, and the superiority of the knowledge compared to the action were not told earlier by Krishna and not heard by Arjuna, then how would he falsely make a statement attributing to Bhagavan that you said knowledge is better than action, and according to you, knowledge being superior, why are you engaging me in action? That means Krishna has very clearly said jnana is superior to karma, or knowledge is superior to action, and he has engaged Arjuna to do the tasmad yuddhasya bharata. That is that where he said that therefore you do the yuddham, or the fight the war. So if that is the case, Arjuna would not have heard it properly. No, Bhagavan also has said, and Arjuna also heard correctly. That is why that verse of 3:1 is that Matabuddhim Janardana Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Matabuddhi Janardana. Kincha yadi buddhi karmanoho sarvesham samuchaya ukta syad arjunasyapi sa ukta eva iti yachcheyam etayorekam tanme bruhi sunischayam iti katam anvantara vishayaha eva prashna syad. So Shankaracharya is asking one more this thing. Moreover, if the combination of knowledge and action was taught for everyone, it would be applicable to Arjuna as well. Then how could the question of the two as follows: of these two, karma and yoga, sannyasa, whichever is the means for moksha, you may teach me that in a well ascertained manner. That is the meaning of that verse, which is that says that Yat Seyam etayorekam tanme bruhi sunischayam. Gita 5.1. Okay. So there also it is very clear that Krishna has very categorically dissected both karma and jnana. Now, as per Sankaracharya, the word karma means Vaidika karmas only. What karmas we are doing today is not even considered as karma as per Sankaracharya, because that is living like animals. So for him the karma is the Vaidika karmas. And those who are not following Vaidika karma is like animals living that eating, sleeping. That is the sloga which I used to say, where if we don't do that what is common is that bhayam, nidra and maithunam, samanyam edat pashubir narana, dharmo hitesham adiko vishesha, dharmo vihina pashubir narana. So that, keeping in that mind, only Shankaracharya is coining this word. So, why Krishna has very categorically mentioned that is the karma and the jnana cannot go together, because the jnana of Atma jnana is taught only in the Vedas through the part of Upanishad. So he is now considering that corpus of Vedas where karma is also mentioned, upasana is also mentioned, jnana is also mentioned. So that is why he is bringing these aspects very clearly, so that there is already existing confusion from the earlier commentaries where, it is jnana and karma can go together, they should be performed together. Atha Arjunasya Bhagavad vachanartam viveka anavadharana nimittaha prasnaha kalpyate tadapi Bhagavata prasnanurupam prativachanam deyam maya buddhi karmanoho samuchaya ukta kimartam ittam tvam bhrando asi iti natu punaha prativachanam anurupam Krishtad anyadeva dve nishte maya pura prokta iti vaktum yuktam. Atha, and if the question of Arjuna is imagined to be the caused by a lack of distinction between lack of distinct understanding or comprehension of the meaning of the statement made by Bhagavan, then too, in keeping with the question, the answer given by Bhagavan should have been, that is Shankaracharya saying, Sri Krishna should have been answering to Arjuna in such a way that by me, the combination of knowledge and karma was told. Then why are you confused in this manner? When Arjuna asked, you said that knowledge is superior to karma, then why are you pushing me into karma? Instead of that, Arjuna's question would have been different. And for that, the Bhagavan's statement should have been the combination of knowledge of karma and was told. And why are you confused in this manner? I never told this karma, knowledge is superior. And action has to be done along with the knowledge. On the other hand, it was not proper to say that earlier by me, two committed lives were spoken of. Dve nishte maya pura prokta maya anakha. That is for Manu, Marichadi, Pravritti Marga, and Sanakadi, the Nivritti Marga. That is the Dve nishte. When he said that Dve nishte means both the committed lifestyles. Pura maya prokta. So in the beginning of the creation, I have set out the rules for the two different lifestyles. altogether different than what this thing. Na api smartenaiva karmanaha buddhehe samuchaya abhiprete vibaha vachanadi sarvam upapannam syat. Kincha kshatriyasya yuddham smartam karmam swadharmam iti jnanataha tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava iti upalambo anupapannaha. So if the smarta karma, this thing has not been very vibhaga or that has not been clear, how can Arjuna ask Tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi? Then why are you into this ghora karma means atrocities. Niyojayasi means you are ordering me to do that. Tasmat Gita Shastre Ishan Matrana Avi Shrotena Smartena Va Karmatjnana Sya Karmana Atmatjnanasya Samuchayaha Nat Kenachit Darshayitum Shakyaha. Therefore, in the scriptures and all the scriptures, both Shruti and Smriti, also in the Gita, it is not possible for anyone to show combination of Atma-jnana and Karma, that is self-knowledge and action, even a little bit of action prescribed by either Shruti or Smriti. Yasya tattva-jnanat ragadi doshataha va karmani pravrittasya yatnena dhanena tapasa va vishuddha sattvasya jnana utpannam paramartha tattva vishayam ekamevedam sarvam brahma kritam cha iti tasya karmani karma prayojane cha nivritte api loka sangrahartam yat purvam yatha pravrittaha tataiva karmani pravrittasya yat pravritti rupam drishyate nat karma yena buddhehe samuchaya syat. But for those who have engaged in the action because of the ignorance and limitations like attachment, who became pure-minded by rituals, sharing and austerities, yatnena dhanena tapasa. So, see, in whom the knowledge through Shravana Manana Nididhyasana regarding the absolute reality is born in the form of all this is one, non-dual Brahman alone who is a non-doer. He is referring to Brihadaranya Upanishads 4.4.22. Ekamevedam sarvam brahma akartr cha. So that is 4.4.22 of Brihadaranya Upanishads which has been quoted. For such a person, action and purpose of action is no more vidhi or nisheda. But for the purpose of avoiding confusion to people, for the well-being of the society, he remains in action, apparently in action, but not in real karma in the formal sense, with which a combination of knowledge is possible. That is, Loga Sangraha Artham Yatnyapurvam Yatha Pravritti Tada Eva Karmani Yat Pravritti Rupam Pravrityasya Drishyate Tat Karma Na Asti Yena Karmanaha Buddhehe Samuchaya Sad. That is that he apparently seems to be engaged in action because he is not desirous of the results of the action. And he is engaged in the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana and abidance in the self. For such people, the activity which they are demonstrating is with non-doership. And that non-doership should not be treated as an action because they have no desire in the action and not even Loka Sangraham is a desire for them. it will be apparently that people are giving the Loka Sangraha as the reason for their activity. Yata Bhagavataha Vasudevasya Shastra Karma Cha Ishtitam Na Jnanena Samuchchiyete Purushartha Siddhaye Tavat Tat Phalabhisandhya Ahankara Abhavasya Tulyatvad Vidushaha. Just as the performance of the duty of a Kshatriya, just as performance of a duty as Kshatriya by Lord Krishna is not combined with the knowledge of attainment by any human goal, such as punya and moksha or moksha. Similarly, the semblance of karma cannot be combined with knowledge in case of a wise person. Because for the wise person, also there is similarity with the Bhagavan's absence of desire for the result of karma and ego. So that is why we will see jnanis engaged in the social activities or engaged in the pravachana, etc., which will be not construed as an activity per se. Because they are not desiring any result out of it. It is just their love flowing out in the form of an action for the purpose of, seeing the oneness in all of them. Their activity cannot be treated as an activity per se, because absence of desire for the result of karma. Tattvavittu na aham karomi iti manyate na cha tat phala abhisantyate. On the other hand, a wise person knows that I do not do any action. That is in the 5th chapter, 8th and 9th shloka. He does not desire for the results of action. Naham karomi iti manyate. Tata yata cha swargadi karma kamartinoho agnihotradi karmam karma lakshana dharma anusthana ayava dharma anushthanaya idagne kamye eva agnihotradau pravrittasya sami krite vinishte api kame tadeva agnihotradi anuštite api na tat kamya agnihotradi bhavati. Sorry. Yadacha swargati kamartinaha agni dane agnihotradi karma lakshana dharma anushtaya kamye agnihotradau sami krite eva pravrittasya kame vinishte api tad eva agnihotradi anushtite api na tat kamyam agnihotradi bhavati. Okay. Just as a person who was desirous of desirable objects like the heaven, swargadi kamartina, who had consecrated the fire for the performance of desired agnihotra, which are the means of desirable objects. For attaining desirable object, agnihotradi yagas have to be done. Who was engaged in agnihotra, later when such action is half done, sami krite, even though his desire for heaven is destroyed at that time, and even though the very same agnihotra etc. is performed, now it is no more considered desired based agnihotra. So here Sankaracharya is giving a unique example. A person is desirous of Swarga and he is undertaking Agnihotra. Halfway through the Agnihotra, due to his desire for moksha, he attains knowledge. So the desire for completion of the Agnihotra is not there. That is why Sami Krite. Sami Krite means Ardha Krite, half done. Agnihotra has been half done, and he realizes in that this Parikshalokan Karmajidan Brahmana Nirvedamaya Nastya Krita Kritena. That thing happens for this person. But he continues the Agnihotra with the knowledge that the Agnihotra is not what he is supposed to be doing, because the knowledge has arisen in him. So the remaining part of the Agnihotra is being done without desire, no kartrutva bhava. That is what he is referring here as an example. Tadacha darshayati Bhagavan kurvannapi lipyate kurvannapi na karoti na lipyate. Gita. One is 5:7 and other is 13:31. Tatra idi tatracha. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, this has been mentioned that accordingly, various places Bhagavan shows in this manner. Even when doing, karma does not do and he does not get affected by the karma. Kurvan nabi na lipyate. Even when doing karma, he does not do karma and he does not get affected. Na karoti na lipyate. Yacha purvaihi purvaparam kritam 4:15. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astida janagadayaha iti tattu pravibhajya vitneyam. And what is said in the slokas that earlier karma was done by ancestors, Janaka, etc., as Ashwapati referred in Brihadaranya Upanishad also, attained freedom or attained moksha, samsiddhim, along with the karma. Karmanaihi samsiddhim astita janagadayaha is the Gita shloka where Bhagavan says that it is not something which has not been said by Krishna. It is very clearly mentioned that karmana eva hi samsiddhim astita janagadayaha. So they have attained samsiddhi along with the karma or by karma or through the activation. That should be understood after having discerned well that having made the division of karma and knowledge, one should not read it separate statement as superficially. Sankaracharya is saying that we should not read the statement from Krishna superficially. Even though it may confuse us that karma and jnana can go hand in hand in the case of, Janaka, Ashwapati, etc. So the Purvapakshi is asking, Tat Katam, how are you saying that jnana and karma is not what Bhagavan is intending there? He is very clearly saying karmana, he means verily or indeed. How can you say that Bhagavan's intent was different? Yadi tavat purvai janagateyaha tattvavidoho api pravurta karmanaha syu te loka sangrahartam guna guneshu vartande iri jnane naiva samsiddhim upastita vartande. Then how is the question which the Purvapakshi is asked? Tat katam. First of all, if we assume that Janaka and others of earlier times were engaged in activities even when they were knowers of truth, they did so for preventing people from going astray. Na buddhivedam janaye tatnyanam karma sanginam. That Bhagavad Gita vachanam is what is Acharya Shangira is keeping in mind when he is making this statement. People should go astray. That should be prevented. Therefore, Janaka, etc., continued to be engaged in activity even though they were knowers of truth. They knew that na karomi na lipyade is that sensitive. And they also had that knowledge, guna guneshu vartande iti. That is, the sense organs like the Panchedriya and the Karmendriya, etc., remain engaged in the sense objects only. I am not involved in it and attain the moksha alone. So there, the direction was very clear that they had the attitude guna guneshu vartande, that sense organs are meant for the sense objects. I am neither the sense organ nor the sense object, so I am not touched by the activities of the Karmendriya or Jnanendriya. Karma sannyase prapte api karmanaha sahaiva samsiddhim astitaha na karma sannyasam kritavantaha ityesha artaha. Sankaracharya says that they attain moksha along with karma through jnanam. Indeed, even though the option of vidvat sannyasa, renunciation of karma, was available to them, they did not renounce the action. This is the meaning that is to be interpreted in the statement of Krishna. So that is why karma sannyasa is a must for the knowledge as per Sankaracharya. So he is adamant on that. So he is saying that intent of Krishna is not that they had karma and jnana going hand in hand together. Even though the option of vidvat sannyasa was there with them, that is that after having the knowledge and realization, they go for pravarajana. That is, they go for renunciation, sannyasa. On the contrary, karma was available to them, so they did not renounce action, but they continued the action without kartrutva bhava. That is the meaning which we have to take is as per Sankaracharya. Atha na tattvavidaha ishvara samarpitena karmanaha sadhana bhutena samsiddhim sattvashuddhim jnanotpatti lakshanam va samsiddhim mastida janakadaya iti vyakyeyam. If Janaka and others were not knowers of the truth, then it should be explained like this: by actions offered to the Lord through Karma Yoga, as a means, karmas in the form of an instrument for proper accomplishment, the purity of mind was accomplished in the form of removal of obstacles, etc. By the action, the rise to knowledge. This is how the words should be explained. So he is saying that the explanation of the word, if Janaka and others were not knowers of the truth, then it should have been explained in this manner. What way? The actions offered to the Lord through Karma Yoga as a means, that is, karma is in the form of an instrument for proper accomplishment. Therefore, is equal to purity of the mind and accomplishment in the form of removal of obstacles. The rise to knowledge is what happened. This is how it has to be explained. Etamevartam vakshati Bhagavan sattvashuddhaye karma kurvanti in the 5.11 iti. In the verse 5.11, sattvashuddhaye karma kurvanti, for the purity of the chittam. Tatra sattvashuddhaye means for the chitta shuddhi, karma kurvanti. Swakarmanam tamabhyarcham siddhim viddhandi manavaha. Ityuktva siddhim praptasya cha punarjnana nishtam vakshati siddhim prapto yadha brahma. Ityadinaha. So, swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim viddhandi manavaha. This is in Gita in the 17th 46 verse. Ityukta. Siddhim praptasya cha punarjnana nishta vakshati. Siddhim prapto yadha brahma. ityadinaha. So therefore, Swakarmana, that verse as well as that Siddhim Prapto Yada Brahma, these are all supporting verses from Krishna for that karma is for Tat Siddha Shuddhi, for that is the Siddhim what is being mentioned here. Tasmad Gita Shastre Kevaladeva Tattvatnyanat Moksha Praptihi Na Karma Karma Samuchitadi iti Nishchito Arthaha. Therefore, because of all the reasons given above, which dismisses Jnana Karma Samuchaya in the verses of Bhagavad Gita, the well-ascertained meaning is in the manner that attainment of freedom or moksha is by mere knowledge of truth alone, Brahmatjnanam, Atmatjnanam, or not by knowledge of truth combined with karma. So he wants to categorically deny that knowledge and karma can never go together. Yada cha ayam arthaha tada prakaranasya vibhajya tatra pradarshiyishyama. And discerning the subject matter context-wise, I will show in various places how the teaching of Bhagavad Gita is kevalat jnana moksha na jnana karma samuchayat. That the knowledge is only through the jnanam, kevalat, not jnana karma samuchayat, not by the combination of jnana and karma. Tatra eva dharma sammuda chetasaha mityajnanavataha mahati shogasakare nimagnaha sya arjunasya anyatra atmajnanad uddharanam pashyan bhagavan vasudevas tataha kripaya arjunam uddishya karjunam udidarayishu atmajnana avataraya annaha aha ashochyan. That being so, Bhagavan Vasudeva, not seeing the upliftment of Arjuna, whose mind was deluded regard to the dharma, who had false knowledge and who was immersed in a vast ocean of sorrow by anything other than the self-knowledge, and the Lord being desirous of uplifting him, from that ocean said the following verse, introducing him to the self-knowledge. So, as per Sankaracharya, the second chapter is fully on the knowledge. If Krishna had that jnana karma samuchayam, or that jnana and karma can go in together, he should have not entered into the second chapter directly as we see it, where he is giving the self-knowledge. Ashochyan anyashochastam nattum shochidam arhasi. That statement of Bhagavan in the first verse, 11th verse, that 2:11, where it is very clearly saying that he is prescribing knowledge, not jnana karma samuchaya. Only when Arjuna does not understand it fully, the import of second chapter, tatkim karmani ghoreman niyojayasi kheshava. If, that is the time when the third chapter, the opening statement itself from Arjuna says that if knowledge is superior than action, why are you pushing me into action? Give me more knowledge, not this thing. But Krishna knew that the sorrow of Arjuna is from ignorance. If he had self-knowledge, he would not have been in a despondency or the sorrow which he is going through. He would have seen it from the eyes of one who knows the truth, or Brahmavit, or this thing. Krishna, he is seeing, because he is knower of the truth. He is seeing it from that viewpoint. And he knew that Arjuna has not seen it. So Arjunam Uddidara-ishu. So that is what the word is used. We are using Arjuna as an example. He is addressing to all of us how we should know that knowledge. And if you do not understand the knowledge, what are the other means like karma yoga, karma sannyasa, dhyana, yoga, etc. That is why the Bhagavad Gita is a complete manual for all the people. Whether you have Chitta Shuddhi or we have no Chitta Shuddhi, we need to start from Karma Yoga, we need to start from Bhakti Yoga, whatever may be our level of understanding, Gita has an answer for all our problems. Therefore, Arjuna is only an instrument which is being nimittam. That is what Sankaracharya said in the beginning itself. Lokasangrahatam Arjunam nimitti kritya. Vasudeva is giving the prescription for self-knowledge and thereby giving us the solution how to get rid of problems or how to handle problems when we are faced with problems in our life. Arjuna's problem was he had to kill his own teacher, uncle, grandfather, etc. for retaining the dharma in this world. And that is a duty. So the duty, when it comes, the kartrutva bhavam is there, or the doership is there in Arjuna. Krishna is now teaching that duty can be performed even when you do not have the doership. That time the duty is not binding you, it is going to help you for emancipation. That is what the sum total of Gita, which he is now going to explain from verse 211 onwards. Ashochya nanyashochastvam is the verse in which he starts with it. So, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashochya nanyashochastvam Prajnavadamscha bhashase Gadasu nagatamsuscha Nanushochandi Pandita. This is the opening statement of Krishna to Arjuna. Ashochyan. Ashochyan means na shochyan. So shochana means to sorrow, grieve for. Shochya means who should not be grieved for. Shochya, that is the pratyaya there to indicate for those who should not be grieved for, because they are adharmis. You should not be crying or you should not be engaged in the sorrow, because whom you are going to kill are not people worthy of sorrow or your sotu. Anvashocha, grieving over, anvashocha. Tvam prajnavadan cha bhashase. You, prajnavadan, mean like a learned person, bhashase, you are speaking like a learned person. Gata asun, agata asun, that is the dead. Gata asun means the dead. Agata asun means those who are not dead, means the living. Cha na anushocanti pandita. The wise men, panditaha means the wise men. Panda yasyasti iti panditaha. Those who have got the knowledge. Na anushocanti. They do not grieve over or cry over or they will not be grieving over the outcome. Because you speak as if you are the wise person, but you are also grieving for that you don't want to kill your own uncle and teachers and brothers, etc. This is the meaning of the first verse, which we will take it in detail with the Shankaracharya's commentary in the Friday's class. So Bhagavan says, you grieve after that which he does not grieve, but you speak in the words of wise people. That is, he is deluded because there is a contradiction between your behavior and the words. Why? Wise people do not grieve over after those who have gone or those who are not gone yet. Both, in the case of both, the wise people do not grieve after. Anishochanti. This is the meaning of the verse which we will see on Friday. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you. Anyone?
Thank you very much, Binduji. I've opened the hand raising and chat for any follow-up discussion. Namaste, Venkatji.
You're better today?
Are you?
It's only good.
Yeah, I'm better today.
Oh, perfect. Binduji, I think yesterday that question I followed up. I think you had a good answer today. The further clarity has come now.
Yes.
So this means it is apparent Shravana Manana Nididhyasana alone won't be suffice. Path of yoga is required in a way, because that middle ground never was established so far. Because all along in the contemplation, path of contemplation, this prescription alone, won't help accelerate. Bringing Chitta Shuddhi is extremely essential for a seeker to get to the Gnana. That is apparent, right, Binduji, in this?
Absolutely. Without Chitta Shuddhi, Jnana can never enter the experience or become your second nature or your nature, true nature. For that, the Chitta Shuddhi is prime requirement. And for Chitta Shuddhi, the Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyasa, Bhakti and Yoga all are contributory nature. But knowledge per se cannot come from these activities. For that, you need to do Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. As you feel more and more clarified on your doubts and Ajnana Samshaya Viparya. These are the three kashaya or the impediments which we have in our mind. So all the three will get reduced as and when we proceed with these actions. Then we will come to a stage, Parikshilokan Karmajidan Brahmanan Nirvedamaya Nastya Krita Kritena Tad Vijnanatam Sa Gurumeva Vigachet Samitpani Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. That stage will come to all of us, where we will get the knowledge imparted from the Guru, who is a Shostriya and Brahmanishta, who has studied the Shastras well and who is established in the Brahman all the time. Such a teacher can impart the knowledge. But before that, you should be Pariksha Lokan Karmajitan. That you should have tested all the activities, karmas, and you should come to Nirvedam. Nirvedam means dispassion. Dispassion towards what? Nasti Akrita Kritena. That it is not a knowledge or the truth or Atma or Brahman is not a product which has a beginning. Akritaha kritena na sambhavati. That means that which cannot be done, which cannot be produced, cannot be done by actions. So knowledge or the Atma-jnana is Swarupa, and Swarupa can never be produced. That is why the activities which we are doing either by Karma Yoga, Karma Sannyasa, Dhyana, Yoga, etc. are for Chitta Shuddhi. And in that Chitta Shuddhi, the knowledge can take place.
Pinodji, this is very nicely laid out today in the Bhashya also. There is one place where there is this in the Samuchaya, the old way when Krishna, I think when Brahma created the world, that there is a mention of pravritti and nivritti. In this one, the karma has been redefined. The Vedic karma has been taken. Hence, there's no conflict, contradiction. Does it mean Nitya karma? It is really Gnana Karma Samuchaya have been told because of the Nitya karma prescribed at the time of creation, not essentially followed today. That's the reason why Gnana Karma Samuchaya has been used by them, while in the way it is now bifurcated, they cannot exist together. So there is some mention of, during creation. Is this together during creation because it's a Nitya karma and it has no binding on Gnana? Is that the way to take it?
We have to take it in a different sense altogether, Venkat. The creation is for the variety. In the variety, what is the variety there? There are people who are born with desires. Purushartha, among that we have Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So the desires where Dharma, Artha, Kama comes, it can be achieved only through pravritti. Moksha is the only Purushartha which depends only on knowledge. Their karma, because it is a Vastu Tandra. An object which is there in the nature of an object, we are knowing ourselves as self, our consciousness or awareness, which is not produced of action. Consciousness or awareness cannot be produced by any activity. And that being the case, the three Purusharthas depends upon the pravritti, that is pravritti marga. And for nivritti marga, there is only one thing, which is the knowledge, jnana. That is why the creation itself is in the two forms, pravritti. The Manu, Marichadi for pravritti marga and Sanakadi for the nivritti marga. That is how the distinction has been made.
Just one follow-up on this. Based on the today's Bhashya, either pravritti or nivritti marga, both have karma in it. Karma for achievement and karma yoga for, unwinding. So both has karma in it. This way is for Chitta Shuddhi, that way is for getting entangled. So that's a way to go, right? I think the need for karma yoga doesn't diminish even in nivritti marga till the Chitta Shuddhi happen. Finally then, the Gnana follows.
You should not take it that way, Venkat. It is not two separate formation. It is a ladder, step by step, where pravritti marga is the place where everybody starts. Because I told ahara, nidra, bhayamaitunam cha samanya medas pashvir narana. So whether you are an animal or a human being, we will be engaged in these activities like an animal until the karma which we are doing is becoming not giving the nitya sukha, or the sukham which we are enjoying are all transient and they are known to be product of action. Therefore, there is a beginning, and that which has a beginning has an end. So therefore, the karma is also beginning and end. Therefore, the karma phalas, which is happiness, giving happiness, punya or pava, whatever it is, that also has a beginning and end. Atyanta sukham, or the bliss, or the permanent nature of happiness cannot be achieved through action which is time bound. So it has to be something beyond time. That is why the Nivritti Marga, knowledge of the Nivritti Marga sets in when we repeated karmas have showing that they can never give you an everlasting happiness. Therefore, karma jidan brahmana nirvedamaya. That is the time when the dispassion toward the karma comes. The desires neither for the swarga nor for the vitta, manusha vitta or daiva vitta. We don't have that. And then we will turn towards for the nivritti marga. Tat vijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachi. That is the time when he approaches a guru for the nivritti marga knowledge. That action should not be taken as action. What is being studied under a teacher for the knowledge purpose is not an action per se. Because as per Sankaracharya and as per the Vaidika Marga, dharmartham arthakama prapti, for the dharma, using dharma, attaining of artha and kama, that is the well-being and the sensual enjoyment. For that only the karma is required and not for knowledge. So this we have to very clearly make a difference, and that is not the karma which is being mentioned when you are studying under teacher or going to a Gurukula and being under the Gurukula's teacher. The activities which you are doing are not considered as action, because you are not doing the Vaidika dharma, Vaidika karmas, where Agnihotradi, etc. are the karmas which are being referred here. Even though Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita do not segregate between Vaidika karma and the ordinary karma by all of us, he has put all karmas into one category. Whereas Sankaracharya is bifurcating Vaidika karma is only what is the intent of Krishna, putting those words into Krishna's mouth, saying that Krishna's statements should be read as only as Vaidika dharma. That is where Sankaracharya has deviated from the intent of Sri Krishna. We have to understand that. Then we get into Gita, you will know it more clearly. When the appropriate time comes, I will tell where this difference is very glaring, so that we should not get confused. We are not gone into the full aspect of the Gita today. We have only taken what Shankaracharya felt as the import of Bhagavad Gita.
You would wait for this. That means the yoga is Nivritti Marga as per this clarification.
Yeah, as that, the respective verses come, we will go into the details of it.
Thank you, Brother. Hari Om.
Thank you, Venkat. Hari Om. Namaste, Hari Tulsidas.
Namaste, Bindu.
Namaste, Hari. Namaste, Hari ji.
I have not gone through all your previous classes. A few replays I have heard. So I may be asking something which has been already answered, or something which will yet come. And most of the things I asked is same doubts as Venkatji has just remarked. So my question is action. You said that it is Desireless action is kind of compassion. People like Janaka acted in compassion for people. And also you mentioned that action is like a ladder or a bridge to Nivarti Marga. So the question is, can we avoid action altogether, avoid that bridge or ladder and have a jump directly to Nivarti Marga without having Pravarti? This is my question.
No.
Thank you.
No, Haridhar. Bhagavan himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Na kaschit chanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krita. We cannot even for a second remain inactive. Therefore, action is there in living. But that doesn't mean that the action has two aspects. The actions which are binding, actions which are not binding. So we should be able to make a clear picture that when does actions become binding, when do actions do not bind us. That is what the karma yoga and karma sannyasa is being explained by Krishna in the 3rd and 4th chapters. So when we get into that time, every statement of Krishna will be very categorically clear that karma has these two aspects. When you have a desire for karma, the karma will be binding you. But the same karma, when you do not have a desire, but the guna guneshu vartande, that all the actions are basically by the sense organs for the sense objects in the world. I am neither the sense organs nor the sense objects. I am just in my presence, the sense organs are acting. When that knowledge comes, then the action of the sense organs will be not binding us. And it will appear to be acting for others, but from your point of view, there will be no involvement in the acting. That is, like how you acted in the dream, the same way you will be acting in the waking also, without any desire for that, for the results of it. So there you will be having that asangata, patmapatra mivambasa is the word Krishna uses for that, like a lotus leaf in the water. Water is considered to be the phenomenal world, and you are inside that, born inside that, living inside that, and dying there as a physical body. But the water doesn't wet the lotus leaf, even though it is 24/7 in the water. It doesn't wet. Same is the case for the one jnani. He will be living in the society, giving out the fragrance and the flower from his knowledge, which will be seen as a loka sangraham. But from the point of view him, it is his nature to be like that, because he is neither in action nor desirous of any action or a result of it.
Thank you, Binduji. I think it clarifies the point that Bhagavad Gita doesn't teach you to behave irresponsibly. It is one of the biggest criticism that has been pointed out time and again, that renunciation is leaving your responsibilities away and taking an escapist route. And these verses in chapter 3 and 4, I think should be well studied to know the importance of action without attachment. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Hariji. Anybody else? Prakash, I don't think anybody is there. Any questions are there? We can close.
Sure, Binduji. So
we'll meet on Friday then.
We'll meet on Friday at 8:30 p.m. IST. So, and that will be in the new year. So, wish everyone a happy New Year's Eve and New Year. And see you in the new year. Over to you, Binduji, to close the room.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you, Venkat. Thank you, Hariji. And thank you all. Wishing you all a very happy new year and a year full of Nivritti Marga for your Shreyas is what I pray for. Thank you. Hari Om. Namaste.
Happy New Year.
Hari Om.